It's time for the People's Bank Plate Meeting. Tonight's game umpires are behind home plate, Willie Traynor. At first base, Matt Blackborough. And at third base, Denver Dangerfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids and goats of all ages, please welcome to the field your 2023 Hartford Yard Goats!
Fans, please direct your attention to the outfield as the United Way of Central and Northeastern Connecticut waves the American flag. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you are able, please stand for the singing of our national anthem, performed tonight by East Catholic Choral Ensemble. Ladies and gentlemen, East Catholic Choral Ensemble. Let's head down to the Liberty
From the corner of Main and Trumbull in downtown Hartford at award-winning Duncan Park, it's time for Hartford Yard Goats baseball. Hello once again, everybody. I'm Dan Lavallo along with Jeff Dooley. Tonight, the Yard Goats take on the Reading Fightin Phils in Game 2 of this 6-game series. The Yard Goats looking to bounce back after last night's 11-inning 6-4 loss to the Fightins. The Yard Goats were fighting themselves. They came back from a 4-0 deficit to tie that ball game. Case Williams on the mound for the Yard Goats, and the defense behind Williams brought to you by the Connecticut Army National Guard. The Connecticut Army National Guard is Connecticut's home team. Bernabal plays third, Boswell short, Diaz second, Goodman first, Simpson in left, Restituyo in center, Datras in right. And the Yard Goats battery tonight, Romo and Case Williams, who brings a 1-3 record to the mound with a 4.12 earned run average. This is his 5th start of the season, his 2nd start against the Reading Fightin Phils. His first start came back on April the 13th. He pitched 5 2/3 innings and allowed 3 runs on 6 hits, took the loss in Reading's 4-2 victory. But in his last start, Case Williams pitched 5 innings, allowed only 3 hits, no runs, amazingly walked 7, but emerged victorious for his first win of the year for the Yard Goats. And so Case Williams, the right-hander who was born in Akron, Ohio, but grew up in Castle Rock, Colorado, is ready to go to work on this cool evening for baseball at Duncan Park. Madison Stokes settles in for the Fightins and ready to call the play-by-play. Here is the voice of the Yard Goats, Jeff Dooley.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. Game 2 of 6 between the Rockies and the Phillies affiliates set to battle, and Case Williams set to engage this Phillies lineup that got a 2-run victory yesterday, a 2-run home run late. Ethan Wilson going yard in the 11th. That was good enough for the victory as they stop Hartford's 4-game win streak. Williams working with Drew Romo's got the gear on behind the plate. He is ready to go. Into the wide, his first pitch is swung on, hit foul, back to the safety net, directly behind the plate. We are underway. Good to have you with us in the corners of Main and Trumbull for Yard Goats baseball on radio. Madison Stokes, the shortstop, comes in with a .314 batting average. He takes the fastball over for a strike at 92, and it's 0-2. Game time temperature 57 degrees, mostly cloudy. It was actually a beautiful day in central Connecticut this afternoon. Wind blowing out, just a breeze at 2 miles per hour, so barely blowing at all. The 0-2 pitch is fouled back to the backstop, and the count stays at 2 strikes to Stokes. Phillies looking to make it 3 straight in the win column. That would be a season high. Now the 0-2 pitch, and the curveball just stays high. Not a bad looking pitch at all with 2 strikes, and it's 1-2. On this Wednesday night, the Goats in their new tops. It's the city jersey with the Hartford skyline on the front. Hartford across the front in blue. Blue numbers in the back, and the green and white mixed in as well. As the pitch is swung on, popped up, foul ground behind the plate. Romo gives it a bid. By the backstop he goes, but he can't get it. It's back to the front row, no play. And Stokes is alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Reading in the visiting gray tops, gray pants with a city name Reading in blue across the front. They've got the numbers and the names at the back of the unis. They also bring in that Phillies theme with the red and white. Red socks, red belts, and the red batting helmet worn now by Madison Stokes, who awaits a 1-2. Williams turns it loose, and the curveball is inside. And the count evens off, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We talked about in the pregame show, somehow, some way, Case Williams walked 7 men in last night's game. Last time out, the pitch in there for a call, 3rd strike. He strikes out Stokes looking this time. 7 walks on Wednesday at New Hampshire, but no runs in a 6-0 shutout win. Dad, how does that happen?
I'll tell you what, that's a rarity, to say the least, but he can't let that happen tonight, or otherwise it's going to be a long night.
On the first baseman, Carlos De La Cruz is in. Very tall right-handed hitter from New York. Swings and grounds on a third base. Knocked down by Birmingham, who falls to his backside, gets to his feet, throws to first base, and it's in time. Good stretch at first by Hunter Goodman. And De La Cruz is disposed of 5-3 for the second out of the first inning. That'll bring us to our keys to the game. Dan Lovallo, sponsored by West Hartford Lock.
Well, one of the keys, believe it or not listed, was that play made by Warming Burnable. That was an outstanding play, but Yard Goats, as far as keys to the game, need to get length out of Case Williams tonight. And they have to have smart pitch selection when the pitcher's on the mound, whether it's Williams or someone else. By that, I mean, this is a tough Reading lineup, so you've got to be smart on how you pitch them. And finally, the Yard Goats, as hitters, need to work the count. They didn't do that much against Major League Rehab pitcher Nick Nelson last night. When they came back in the game last night, it was because they started to work the count.
This one's swinging and miss. Johan Rojas, the batter. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike. There's your keys to the game. Presented by West Hartford Lock. Williams has that black glove right in front of the chin. Now reaches in for the baseball as he turns on that rubber. The 1-1 is low. And the count goes to 2-1. Case 6'3", 210. He's making his 45th career start, 5th of the season. Now it's 2-1. Outside of the count goes to 3-1. Williams pitched 2 spring training games for the big club, the Rockies, out in Arizona. 0-1, a 4.50 earned run average. Pitched against Oakland and San Francisco. The pitch is swung and pop foul, third base side. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We talked to the guys, Dan, right when they arrived, and that's such a big thrill when some of the younger players get to experience Major League spring training.
Oh, absolutely. Just to have that chance in the hopes that it'll lead someday to a call-up. You know, you get the idea of what it's like to be around the big league atmosphere.
Williams struck out 12 his Hartford debut. He came up late last season and then finished the year with Hartford and struck out 12 Binghamton Rumble Ponies. The pitch is swung on and hit foul, and that'll catch the top of the net right behind the plate. That's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Williams drafted by the Rockies, 4th round in 2020 out of Douglas High School in Colorado. He's born in Akron, Ohio, but as Dan mentioned, grew up in Colorado. Went to some Rockies games as a youngster. Pitch is swung and a ground ball back to the mound. Knocked down by Williams, base of the hill. He picks it up in front of the grass and throws a good one to Goodman. And Rojas is gone to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left as Case Williams turns in a 1-2-3 first after 1/2 inning. Reading nothing, and Hartford coming up with the Connecticut Radio Network.
At Connecticut, when we say we mean health, we mean we're here to cover the moments that change your life. The appointments that let you know her first steps are right on time. And all the things that get and keep you healthy, like yoga and nutrition classes. Because at Connecticut, it's not only your coverage that means everything to us. It's your health. We mean health.
I like to scratch stuff, obviously. But unlike carpets and the occasional sofa, Connecticut Lottery scratch tickets have amazing prizes, fun games, and incredible odds. They're my favorite thing to dig these claws into. The possibilities are endless for what you can do with your winnings. Vacations, dinners, clothes, cat toys. I'd buy a scratching post and then just scratch the sofa instead. Possible is a scratch away with scratch tickets from the Connecticut Lottery.
I really enjoy that I get to help people on a daily basis. My name is Erica Sims, and I'm a unit manager at the CAT team. We basically handle claims that result out of a catastrophic event. It's been really exciting since I started because I've been able to travel all throughout the country. You're not going to find a better group of people in terms of their dedication to be able to service a customer. There's lots of things that we do really well here at Travelers, but I think it's the people that makes us special. The best thing about what I do is being able to help people.
Well, David Parkinson taking his warm-up pitches for the Fightins. The defense, Kroon at third, Stokes at short, Dunn at second, De La Cruz at first, Whitley, Rojas, and Wilson the outfield from left to right. And Roberts is catching Parkinson as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Jeff?
All right, Vladimir Restituyo. We'll see David Parkinson first as he climbs in from the right side. Vladimir, a great start, 328 batting average, 7 doubles, 3 homers, 13 runs batted in. He's filled up a lot of that stat sheet first couple of weeks of the season. He runs up to bunt, pushes one towards the first baseman. De La Cruz will field, flip to the pitcher, the tag, not in time. Restituyo beat the tag of the pitcher Parkinson, who tried to apply that leather to the back of the uniform, and Restituyo, with his great speed, just breezed right by him, hustling up that first baseline.
Well, Restituyo dropped a bunt single up the third baseline last night. He tries the first baseline this time with De La Cruz playing deep at first, and that's how you start a ball game.
David Parkinson, 6'2", 210. He's 27 years old. He's from Virginia. Selected in the 12th round by the Phillies back in 2017. Here's Kyle Datras. He homered last night. Spent all of last summer with the Goats. Began this year AAA Albuquerque and was just reassigned last week. He takes the fastball high for ball one. And really, and you notice a change when this guy is with the team because he is such a great teammate. He obviously can carry so much weight with his bat. And he's someone that has been through this league before. And we know he's not going to be in Hartford for very long. He kind of got pushed out in terms of a roster. As you take a look at the home run he hit last night, MLB television. He was hitting well at AAA, but it was just a situation, a numbers game, Dan, with Elias Montero coming down from the big leagues and kind of squeezed Datras back to the Eastern League as he takes high for a ball.
Well, he's going to hit, and he'll get back to AAA, I would imagine, at some point because he's going to hit, and he can play outfield.
Infield double play depth, 2-0 pitch is inside. It's now 3-0 to Kyle Datras. Stokes at short, Dunn at second. De La Cruz at first base holding Restituyo. Off the line at third, it's Matthew Kroon. Now the pitch is high ball four. So 4-pitch walk. So Parkinson, after getting bunted on, ends up walking the next batter on 4 pitches, and the Goats have first and second base with nobody out.
Well, Parkinson has pitched well against the Yard Goats this season. We mentioned this is his third start. In 2 prior starts, he pitched 9 1/3 innings, allowed 3 runs. That figures out to a 2.89 earned run average. The Yard Goats batting 176 against him going into this game.
From one guy, Dan, that fills the stat sheet to another, here's Hunter Goodman. What a season for this first baseman. Will also catch and play in the outfield. Very versatile for his spot. And he takes the change low for a ball. Goodman leads the Eastern League in RBIs. He's driven in 17. Tied for first. An extra base hits, total bases. You see that one clanking off the wall. A double. And pitch swing and a miss. Fastball at 89 in the inner half. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that was the big double last night by Hunter, which got the Yard Goats within a run.
Goodman, third in home runs, fourth in slugging. He's done some damage with that stick. Holds the hands low as he awaits, takes the curveball outside, and the count goes to 2-1. He got so much praise last year, hitting 36 home runs in the minor leagues. You just don't see guys do that every year. Drove in over 100. But he is off to a great start in 2023. Swings and punches a foul back to the backstop. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Goodman's got a 5-game hitting streak on the line. He is from Arlington, Tennessee. Played collegiately at Memphis. And he could be a really good find for the Rockies. Their 4th-round pick back in 2021. 2 on, nobody out as he awaits a 2-2 from Parkinson. Datris at first base. Restituyo leads off second. Goodman stepped out of the box, and now he's back in again. Right foot against the back line of the chalk. Righty against the lefty in the pitch. Home is swung out in a high drive. Deep left. Whitley back. Way back. It's gone! Hunter Goodman hits a 3-run home run here in the first inning, and the Yard Goats take a 3-0 lead. No doubt about it. Blast by the big guy from down south. He extends the arms to the zone, and he rips one into the Hartford night.
Well, his 6th home run of the young season. He now has a league-leading 20 runs batted in. That was a hanging pitch at 83 miles per hour, right out with the plate, and it left the park at 107 miles per hour. A 3-run blast by Hunter Goodman.
Here's the pitch to Drew Romo, switch hitting catcher.
That was tagged, Jeff.
Yeah, it was. You're not kidding. He has a pretty swing, doesn't he? The next one missing outside of the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. Goodman, a 3-run home run, his 6th of the season.
And the Yard Goats have already scored more runs off of Parkinson in the first inning tonight than they did in his 2 prior starts against Hartford.
And Dan, this all set up by a bunt from Vladimir
Yes.
Restituyo. Let's not forget that. The pitch, swing and a miss.
That's a great point.
Here's a stat that it's been interesting. Hartford is 7-0 when it scores first.
Well, that's, one of the keys to any game, really.
Yeah.
Score first, and it increases your chances of winning. Parkinson right now really struggling.
Lefty on lefty, the 1-2 pitch hit him. And this has really been a tough start as Grant Levine gets plunked. It was a breaking pitch, and not the start that David Parkinson wanted. He may get a visit, Dan, from a coach or maybe the catcher. Here comes the catcher now, Cody Roberts.
Yeah, and he's going to be joined by the pitching coach, Brad Bergeson. And you just wonder, Jeff, if that bunt by Restituyo, as you pointed out, perhaps hurt his equilibrium, Parkinson's equilibrium, because he was struggling right after that bunt. And the Yard Goats have done what we mentioned as one of the keys to the game. They've done a superb job of working the count. Datris walked. Goodman ran deep in the count before hitting that 3-run homer on the curve that was just hung out over the plate. And then Levine gets hit by a pitch. And all of this, I'm sure, is preying on the mind of Parkinson, who has not gotten off to a good start. And as we mentioned in his 2 prior starts against Hartford, he pitched very well.
So Drew Romo is in, runner at first base as Levine still nobody out as we play here in the first inning. And the pitch is swung on. That's yanked on the left field line, fading back and foul up against the side fence. Strike 1, but a pretty good swing by Drew Romo. Warming Bernabel on deck. He will be next. Romo back-picked a runner at first base. Picked him off yesterday. Did the former star from the Woodlands, Texas. The pitch in the dirt. Blocked to the ground by Roberts. And the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Romo, the Rockies' first-round pick in 2021. Pitch is swung on, a ground ball to deep shortstop, backhanded by Stokes. He has it, goes to second for 1. Not nearly in time to get Romo at first base, but nice play by Stokes, ranging to his right, went into the backhand and got a good strong throw off to Oliver Dunn to erase Levine. Romo beats the throw back from second, so he is aboard a fielder's choice.
And Parkinson got away with a pitch there, a 90-mile-per-hour fastball hung out over the plate, as you said. Stokes did a nice job. No way the Yard Goats were going to hit into a double play there, but nevertheless, a nice play by Stokes.
Warming Bernabal, the third baseman, is in. 3-0 Goats, just getting going here in the first. Pitch, changeup missing at 81 for ball one. Now the 1-0 pitch. That's a cross for a strike. Fastball at 91, ball one strike. Infield backed up, double play depth. Stokes at short, Dunn at second base. Now the 1-1 pitch is swung on. Soft roller towards third base, charging. It's Kroon. He feels, he throws a low throw dug out of the dirt nicely by De La Cruz, who uses those long legs. He keeps that leg across that first base bag, and Bernabal is gone. For out number 2, Romo on the play scoots down to second base. That's a really nice play by Matthew Kroon.
Well, I don't know if Kroon can carry a tune, but let me tell you, he sings a nice third base, because we saw him make a couple of those plays last night. He is excellent at charging in, making that bare hand pickup, and getting the throw off to first base, and that was a nice play by Kroon.
Now Brett Boswell, 167 average, 3 homers and 8 runs batted in. He swings and misses, strike one. Lefty-lefty matchup here for Boswell. Brett, 28 years old, and 0 for 5 last night. Takes the off-speed pitch in for a strike. The ball dropped by the catcher Robertson. Off to second base goes Romo. He was going on the pitch. He'll get a stolen base.
That's a compliment of this furniture stolen base, which means another $15 donation to Knox Incorporated.
And stolen base credited to Drew Romo. Boswell waits in 0-2 now. The pitch home, high above the letters, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's Romo's third stolen base of the young season.
He could do a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Boswell returning to Hartford for a second year, but the first since 2019. He swings away, drives one deep down the left field line. Here's Whitley heading back towards the track, back towards the fence. He reaches over and he can't get it. It is down into the corner. Scoring in the play is Romo. Boswell heading to second base, and he's in standing with a double. Ball looked like it was heading towards foul territory deep down the left field line. Garrett Whitley did a good job getting to it, but could just not find it and bring it in cleanly. Kind of stretched across his body, and it landed fair. There's not a lot of foul territory down that left field line. It turns out to be an RBI double for Boswell, and the Goats have a 4-0 lead.
There's the Yard Goats' 4th run of the game. Drew Romo scoring on that double by Boswell. Whitley was playing Boswell a tad to pull. Remember, he's a left-handed batter, so he had to go a long way. He played a very good game in left field last night, but as you mentioned, Jeff, that one gave him some trouble, principally because he had to run a long way to begin with. I don't know if the wind is blowing that hard, but if it is, it got caught up in the wind. He had a circle under it, and he did have some trouble. And now we've got a stoppage in play here, and I don't know if something got entangled in the left field corner. Yeah, the wall came apart, and Matt from the grounds crew is out there to make sure all the pieces are back in place.
And some of the padding may have come off, but it's back in good shape now. Boswell, the 2-base hit, is 4th of the season, and what a fast start for the Yard Goats. We have a 4-0 lead, their first ups here in the first inning.
And the manager and third base coach, Kristen Orfia, has to be feeling pretty good about things with that 4-0 advantage.
Here's second baseman Eddie Diaz. David Parkinson nearing a 30-pitch inning, Dan. The next pitch will be his 25th. It swung out. There's a line drive, center field, falling fast. That will land for a hit. Boswell rounding third, heading home. The throw from center, the slide, the tag, and he's out. Great throw from Johan Rojas to the catcher, Cody Roberts, who puts the tag in the left leg of the sliding Boswell, and he is gone to finish off the inning. But the Goats settle for 4 runs. They do it on 4 hits. 1 man left, 1 done in Hartford. Yard Goats 4, and the fight is nothing in the Connecticut Radio Network.
Purchase your tickets. Winner will be announced in the 8th inning. Fans, it's trivia time. Let's head over to Anne-Marie with the contestants.
Goats fans, it is time for Roto-Rooter Trivia, and we are here celebrating The Office tonight, so of course we have to have an Office-themed trivia question. I am here with Jessica from Newington. Are you ready, Jessica?
I'm ready.
All right, let's look at the big screen. Who was not a member of the party planning committee? Was it A, Pam, B, Creed, C, Phyllis, or D, Angela? What do you think?
Creed.
B, Creed. Let's see if you're correct. That is correct. Great job, Jessica. And that's Roto-Rooter Trivia.
Thank you to Roto-Rooter for sponsoring Trivia Time. Roto-Rooter of Hartford, experts in plumbing, drains, and water cleanup. Visit rotorooter.com/Hartford. Do you want your picture from the game to be featured on the outfield video board? Use the hashtag #NoGoatsNoGlory on your social media posts for the chance to be featured on the video board during tonight's game, presented by the Connecticut Lottery. Right fielder number 2, Ethan Wilson.
Well, off we go to the top of the second inning, and Case Williams has a 4-0 lead. And once again, here's Jeff.
All right, off to the second we go. 4-zip lead for Case Williams as Ethan Wilson, the right fielder. Public enemy number 1, hit the 2-run home run last night. He's in to start the second inning. Wilson hit his 3rd home run. Swings away and lines a bullet into right field. It'll drop for a hit. And that's the first hit of the ball game. First base runner for the Reading Fightin' Phils to get things going here in the second.
Well, Wilson is on fire since coming off the injured list on April the 22nd. He's batting .333 with 3 homers and 10 runs batted in, and that average will go up another point or several points this early in the season as he drops a single into right field.
There's Matthew Kroon, third baseman. Stands in for the right side. It takes high for a ball. Oliver Dunn on deck. He'll bat next. The next one, breaking pitch is low. And the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Infield backed up. Second baseman Diaz playing at deep second base. Goodman at first holds Wilson. And the pitch. Breaking pitch misses away. 3-0 now to Kroon. Yard Goats, the #1 fielding team in the league. .982 fielding percentage for the Goats. Reading 3rd in batting, .242 team average. The next one is high ball 4. So after the single, Case Williams walks Kroon on 4 pitches.
Well, this is what you've got to worry about as far as the Yard Goats are concerned. They need a shutdown inning here. I mean, what you want to do is you got the Fightins down, and if you're the Yard Goats, you want to keep them down.
It's the first to reach against Williams after a 4-run first. Now second baseman Oliver Dunn. Lefty hitter against the righty. Williams cranks it home, and that is high for ball 1. Reading snapped Hartford's 4-game win streak with a 6-4 11-inning win yesterday. Mentioned Ethan Wilson 2-run home run, but how about we talk about one of the positives the last several weeks, Dan? That's been the Hartford bullpen. They were solid again last night, even though, they were tagged with a loss with that go-ahead home run in the 11th, but relievers last night, just 1 earned run in 6 innings. That's going to work.
Absolutely, it's going to work. The bullpen is one of the reasons the Yard Goats have gotten off to a very solid 11-9 start and are in this divisional race.
The Yard Goats just won 4 of 5 on the road trip up in New Hampshire. After a visit from Romo, Williams deals, and the 2-0 pitch is over but low. It's now 3-0. Pitch, swing and a miss. Wilson at second base, Kroon at first base. Phillies trying to make a move down 4-zip here in the second. Now the pitch home is hit foul back to the seats, and Williams has evened it against Dunn. Phillies have dropped 5 of 6 before Saturday's win against Altoona. Now they've won back-to-back games with yesterday's victory. They did lose 3 of 5 against the Curve, their last homestand, last series. Now the 2-2 pitch high above the letters, an off-speed pitch at 83, and the count fills now 3-2.
He's got to watch out which pitch he throws here, because Dunn is capable of making contact. He's been a pretty solid hitter against Hartford so far this season.
Williams looks to second. Long pause for the righty. Now the 3-2 pitch, and that misses wide, ball 4. So Williams, after giving up the leadoff single, has walked back-to-back batters, and he's got to work now with a bases loaded situation.
Well, we mentioned how he got away with it last week in New Hampshire, walking 7 batters in 5 innings without giving up a run, but you are really flirting with danger when you do that. He's walked 15 batters this season in 21 2/3 innings, and that is not a good ratio.
Big spot for Drew Ellis, former big leaguer in the DH for the Fightins. He swings and misses, and the fastball down in the zone at 91, strike 1. Philly's not afraid to sign some veteran guys. As the DH stands in deep in the box. Corner's first baseman comes in anyway. The next one, change up is high. The off-speed pitch is kind of floating outside of the zone. Now Williams go to the rosin.
And that's one of the reasons he turned his season around at A-ball last year. He was able to develop a slider because he ended up with a cut on his index finger, forced him to change his grip, and it worked. But he's having trouble tonight gripping that ball.
Pitch is swung on. That's yanked in the air down the left field line. It's going to drop for a base hit, or fair ball. That should score 2. Williams is in, and Crooner right behind him. It's a 2-run single for Drew Ellis, and it's a 4-2 game.
Well, that's a great piece of hitting by Drew Ellis as he's aboard with that 2-run hit, as he took an inside pitch and just served it up down the left field line, dropping near Simpson. 2 runs scoring easily, and now the Fightins are just like that, in position with the tying runs on base and the go-ahead run at the plate.
Former Mariner and Diamondback coming through, and now the catcher Cody Roberts. He's in right side, takes the fastball high for ball 1. This inning, 2 singles and 2 walks have led to 2 runs, and still nobody out for the Fightins here in the second. And here comes the pitching coach, Blaine Beatty, Dan. He's going to try to get Case Williams back into the strike zone.
This is a good time for a visit. You've got to settle Williams down. I mean, your team scores 4 runs in the last of the first, give you a 4-0 lead, and then the Fightins come right back. And you've got to make pitches. You've got to be able to grip that baseball. And right now, Case is having some trouble, and I think that's what Blaine is talking about. You know, so much of this game is a fundamental approach, how you grip the baseball, how you handle a situation when men are on base. But this is a learning process. That's why the players are here. They're developing. They're trying to learn. You see this stuff happen even at the major league level, but, you know, an opportunity here, a learning opportunity here for Case Williams, particularly if he can get out of this inning without any more runs scoring. You've got a situation where a couple of pitches could get you out of the inning. Runners are at first and second with nobody out, but a double play and boom, a pop-up and you're out of the frame. But the Fightins have other ideas with Cody Roberts taking in. He did not play in last night's ball game, but he's trying to wreak havoc in tonight's contest.
So Cody Roberts is in. Umpire just signaling something out to Case Williams, Dan. As he squares up on the rubber. 2 in scoring position, 2 on, I should say. Nobody out. Pitch is swung on. That's lined to the left field line. That's going to get in there for a hit. Here's Dunn racing around third base. He is heading for the plate and will score. Heading to second base, Cody Roberts. He is in with a double as he claps his hands and makes it a 1-run game.
Well, Cody Roberts came in batting .152 with 5 hits and 33 at-bats, but he picks up his 9th run batted in, delivering a double and also delivering Oliver Dunn from second base with the 3rd run. Advancing to third base, Drew Ellis, and Case Williams is in a heap of trouble.
Yeah,
there's no other way to describe it.
He danced with danger, walking 7, and gave up 0 runs last time, but both walks in this inning have come around and scored. We'll see what kind of short leash it is, or if it's a short leash for Williams tonight, as Garrett Whitley stands in and takes the pitch in for strike one. Dan, already some stirring in that Hartford pen out in right field.
Well, there has to be, because Williams is not locating his pitches and doesn't seem to have the velocity on it tonight.
Pitch is swung on and hit foul back to the screen behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes.
I mean, so much has to do with pitch location, and right now the pitch location just is not there.
2 in scoring position. A hit could give the Fightins the lead here in the second inning. Hartford got 4 in the bottom of the first, but now it's a 4-3 game. Here's the 0-2. Swung out and a fly ball hit towards left center field. Restituyo on the go. This should tie the game. He's there and makes the catch. Heading home as Ellis, after tagging, he scores without a throw. And Case Williams has been reached for 4 runs here in the second inning as we hit reset, and it's 4-4 on the Whitley sac fly.
No, that's just a nice job of hitting overall by the Fightins. In this case, the number 9 hitter, Whitley, who hit a home run last night, coming through to get that tying run in from third base. The fly out to center fielder Vladimir Restituyo, but got to hand it to the Fightin' Phils. They are fighting tonight.
They
Jeffrey.
are. Now the shortstop, Madison Stokes. He struck out looking to begin the game. And the pitch, he takes the breaking pitch low for ball 1. Williams has thrown now 36 pitches over the first 2 innings. He had a 1-2-3 first, and not that way in the second. The pitch is swung on. There's a bullet down the left field line. That's going to land for a hit. Racing around third, Roberts. He's heading home, and he will score without a throw. It's an RBI single for Stokes, and how about the Fightin' Phils? They put up 5 in the second and now take a 5-4 lead.
Location, location. It works in real estate and pitching, and the location that time on the pitch was up. And obviously Stokes wasn't going to let the pitch go by, jumping all over it and delivering Cody Roberts with the go-ahead run.
Eighth batter to come up this inning, the first baseman, De La Cruz. He swings and drives one deep towards right. This is going to land over the head of Restituyo. Hit off the fence. To third base of the play goes Stokes. Heading for 2 is De La Cruz, and he's in with a double. And oh boy, this has gone from bad to worse for Case Williams.
Right now, Yard Goats manager Kristen Orphy has a decision to make. The bullpen is busy. Williams is not locating his pitches at all. I mean, it comes down to location. His pitches are up in the zone. The pitches don't have movement, and the Fightins are just taking advantage of it. Pure and simple. They've batted around.
Well, they're going to have to sit because Mitch Kilkenny, Dan, I think he just got up a second ago. I think he just is starting throwing right now, because they obviously want Case Williams to get his pitches in, but boy, you want to try to keep this thing close too, as Rojas is in. And the pitch to him is up high, and Case has just been all over the place.
Well,
he missed the changeup at 80. It's 2-0.
I don't know if he's having a difficult time gripping the baseball or just what it is, but his pitch location is not there. His velocity is not there. The fastball doesn't have movement tonight.
Right-hander sets. 2-0 pitch. Swung on a ground ball, chopped over the mound towards the middle, knocked down by the diving Diaz. He turns and throws to first base. Won't be in time. Runner breaking the plate, so Goodman throws to Romo, and a tag made on the runner, trying to score. And they get the out at home plate.
Well, that was a wild play. And I think the Yard Goats just got a double play.
Yeah, they did. They doubled off De La Cruz at second base. How about that?
Wow.
Double play to finish off the inning. That's exactly what Case Williams needed. Tough frame, though, as Fightin' Phils score 5 times in the inning, and he played an inning and a half. It is 5-4 Reading and the Connecticut Baseball Network.
Thank you, New England, for helping make Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America for 45 years straight, merging premium-grade muscle with super smart tech. And thank you, New England, for helping make Ford SUVs #1 in brand loyalty in America, combining their available all-season capabilities with connected technology, because these Ford trucks and SUVs are not only built for America, They're built for New England. See for yourself at your Ford dealer.
What's the best part of a Dunkin' Run? The coffee, or the $1 donut, $2 bagel minis, or $3 sausage, egg, and cheese you can add to it? The answer is yes! Time for a Dunkin' Run. Great deals on food for $1, $2, or $3 with a medium or larger coffee.
We're coming up on our 100-year anniversary right now at Stu Leonard's. My dad used to bring me down to the local bank, and that was basically a handshake deal. So I sort of grew up looking at bankers as friends. I think we found that old friendship feeling again with M&T. M&T's a large bank, but there's still that sort of hometown feeling that they've been able to preserve within their culture. You don't feel like you're dealing with a big bank.
Make sure to visit www.hinkle-northamerica.com today for more information on Hinkle's products. Left fielder number 18, Colin Simpson.
Well, how's that for a wild finish to the
Wow.
top of the second inning, Jeff?
Got to be kidding me. 5-4 the Fightins. The 5-run second lead Hartford now 5-4. So off to the bottom of the second we go. If you like offense, you'll love tonight. You've seen 9 runs scored.
Yes.
There's Colin Simpson, the 9-hole hitter, the only goat to not bat in the first inning. And he takes the pitch up high for ball 1. Simpson, 182 batting average, couple of doubles, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. The 1-0 is in for a strike in the inner half, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
So we've had 8 batters hit for the Yard Goats in the first inning and 9 for the Fightins in the second inning.
We've seen 10 hits in this game, and we're in the second. The pitch, Hartford hasn't even batted in the second. There's a swing and a miss, and the count 1-2. That's one of those things about baseball, right? You never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark. Pitch home high above the letters, and the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Parkinson will try to settle down after a 25-pitch, 4-run first inning. 3 of those runs coming on 1 swing of the bat. Hunter Goodman went yard. The pitch, curveball as he ducks out of the way. Leaning back, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now the 3-2 pitch, and it misses outside ball 4. So Parkinson, after his team just gets 5 runs, a leadoff walk into the 9-hole hitter.
Well, I mean, that's it, Jeff. Your team comes back, gives you a second life. You can't be blowing it. I'm sure Parkinson's not trying to walk these hitters, but still, he's having difficulty.
Vladimir Restituyo, the batter, in a bunt single to help set up that 4-run first inning. He swings away and hits one back into the seats, foul for strike 1. This game 2 of 6 this week between Hartford and Reading. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a foul hit back to the screen behind the plate. No balls, 2 strikes. Lefty against the righty hitter. Parkinson sets. There's the 0-2 pitch. It's hit foul back to the net right behind the plates. No balls, 2 strikes. De La Cruz at first base holding Simpson. Second baseman Oliver Dunn cheating towards that second base back. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a ground ball down the line, third base, but fouled just by a couple of feet. Kristen Orfia getting out of the way. That ground ball hit hard. No balls, 2 strikes. Yard Goats offensively tied for 4th in home runs. They've hit 21 now. Tied for 3rd in doubles with 33. Make it 34 with Boswell's doubles so far tonight. The pitches hit foul back to the screen behind the plate, and it'll stay no balls, 2 strikes. Lefty set, and the pitch home is swung on, pop foul. Giving chase, Cody Roberts all the way back to the screen, kind of leaps up against that safety netting, but he can't get it. That looks fun to do that. You never had that before. You could just kind of jump into that, have it catch you. You don't have to worry about getting injured. 2 strikes the count to Restituyo. Vladimir, a tremendous season. Made some spectacular plays in the outfield, but he's 5th in batting, tied for 2nd in doubles, 3rd in extra base hits, so he can hit. Swings away and shoots a foul, shove that one back in the seats. Second deck along the first base line, just to the right of the Sammy Adams party deck, which is packed up to capacity here tonight. And 2 strikes the count to Restituyo. Again, the 0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Ball was dropped by Roberts, first base occupied though by Simpson. So Restituyo is a strikeout victim. And 1 away in the 2nd inning.
Now that was a breaking pitch that Restituyo was unable to lay off of. It went down after it. Awfully tempting for that hitter. That pitch is coming up. It looks like it's going to be a sweet pitch to hit, and then at the last moment it dives.
Kyle Datras drew a walk on 4 pitches his last time. He bats here and takes a fastball and actually off-speed pitch on the inner half for ball 1. That was strike 1 actually. Hunter Goodman on the on-deck circle will be next. He hit the 3-run home run. The 0-1 is low, blocked to the ground by Roberts, and the count 1 ball 1 strike. This is the 8th of 24 meetings between the Yard Goats and Fightin Phils. Clubs will play a 6-game series. Actually, 4 6-game series, 2 in Reading, 2 in Hartford. Goats won 4 of 6 in Baseball Town last month. Her ball missing here, and the count goes to 2-1.
You know what's disconcerting for Parkinson is his pitch count is running up, and we're only in the 2nd inning. He's over 40 pitches, 42 to be exact.
Pitch is swung on. That's lined down the left field line. It's going to get in there for a hit. Whitley over to get it. Rounding second base, Simpson. He's on his way to 3rd. He slides. Here comes the throw from Whitley, not in time. It's a single by Kyle Datras, who continues his hitting streak. He sits safely down in every game he's played since joining this team, and that is now 6 in a row. And the Goats have it set up 1st and 3rd base with 1 out.
And look at Simpson go. Great hustle. You know, one of the ways you judge a base runner is not only can he steal a base, but what is his speed going, for example, from 1st to 3rd? That play was in front of Simpson. He was able to see it. He had the afterburners on from the get-go and advanced from 1st to 3rd.
Now Hunter Goodman, a 3-run home run back in the 1st inning. He really sent it out of this ballpark quickly out to left, and he takes the fastball high at 88 outside. De La Cruz at first base, holding Datras. Simpson leads from 3rd. Pitch. That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, you look at Parkinson, Jeff, and he's not going to overpower you with his fastball, so he's another pitcher who has to rely on location.
The 2-0. Inside, off-speed pitch missing. Kind of moved his left leg out of the way of that ball, dropping quickly. 3-0 now to Goodman.
And I think it's fair to say that he's having difficulty locating his pitches tonight.
3-0 pitch. Get over a fastball's in for a strike. And it's 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is fouled back to the screen behind the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes. 5 runs, 6 hits for Reading, 4 runs on 5 hits for Hartford. It's been an offensive explosion from both sides so far.
And we're only in the 2nd inning.
Yes. Hope you packed your breakfast for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Datras digs out his lead at 1st. Same with Simpson at 3rd. Here's the 3-2 pitch again. It misses inside ball for a ball. Popped out of the mid of Roberts. Missed with a fastball at 91 did Parkinson. And Yard Goats, Dan, will have him loaded up. This would be a fine time for Hartford's first grand slam with Grant Levine coming up against the tough lefty.
Meanwhile, Parkinson has surrendered his 2nd walk in this inning and 3rd walk in the game. And remember, he's also hit a batter, so he just does not have it tonight.
Grant Levine has 2 home runs. Hey, he'd settle for a little single in this spot.
Yeah.
Pitch to him, swing and a miss, strike 1. Tough test always against a very good lefty for Levine. Grant 4 for 15, batting at 200 against lefties. The next one, fastball in for a strike right around the knees. So the count 0-2. Parkinson ready, gets the sign from Roberts. Now the 0-2 to Levine. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball down in the zone, and Levine strikes out for the second out of the inning.
Well, that's a good pitch that time because he had the jump 0-2. He wasn't going to throw a meatball pitch. If he was going to throw the fastball, it was going to be low and away. That's just what Parkinson did, and he comes up with a big strikeout.
Drew Romo, the batter. Romo reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Switch hitter will bat right side against the lefty as he bats him loaded up, and he takes the curve high for ball 1. Now the 1-0 is swung out and popped foul back in the seats along first base, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Jeff, as you know, these are the moments that can come back to bite you. As much as the Yard Goats had a nice comeback last night, they failed to deliver in a bases loaded no out situation, which cost them. And the bases loaded here with 2 outs.
Pitch is swung out, and that's it, foul back to the screen behind the plates. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Parkinson tilts the body, says yes to Roberts. Comes set to the belts. And the 1-2 swung out, little pop-up, short right field. Wilson comes racing in. Ethan will have it measured, and he pulls up and he makes the catch. Bill the hat high, and then flips the ball to the second deck. A souvenir for a fan. Romo leaves him loaded as he flies out to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 2 walks, 3 men left after 2 complete. It is Reading 5, Hartford 4, the Connecticut Baseball Network.
Fans, it's time to get up on your feet and scream real loud for a free t-shirt. Get ready for the David Cook Plaster t-shirt toss.
It's Star Wars night tomorrow night at Duncan Park. May the 4th be with you. 7:10 start. Then on Friday night, Cinco de Mayo will be celebrated right here at Duncan Park. Another 7:10 start against Reading. Saturday at 6:10, there is a big ball game here against Reading with a fireworks display after the game. And then Sunday afternoon at 1:10, kids get to run the bases after the game. So a lot happening here at Duncan Park as the series continues. Tomorrow night at 7:10, may the 4th be with you. Star Wars night. For tickets, go to yardgoatsbaseball.com. Jeff?
All right, Dan, off to the 3rd we go. The Goats and the Fightin' Phils. And a 5-4 lead for Reading. The pitch to the center fielder Rojas is in for strike 1. Johan bounce back to the pitcher. Williams' only time. He swings and hits one high and deep towards right. Datra's back, looking up, and it's gone way out of Duncan Park. And Rojas with his 2nd home run of the season. He goes upper deck to right center. And a tack-on run for the Fightins, who now lead at 6-4. Well, pitch over the zone, and Rojas got it out of here pretty quickly. Now Ethan Wilson, he's singled back in the second inning. There's the pitch to him, and the curveball is a little bit high for ball one. Next one nearly hits him as he jumps some rope out of there. This one missing, and the count 3 balls and no strikes. Mitch Kilkenny was up last inning. Pitch home. That's in for a strike. Get over a fastball. Makes it 3-1. Williams reaches in the glove for the baseball. 3-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back to the screen behind the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Six runs on 7 hits for Reading, 4 runs, 5 hits for Hartford. Williams ready. Now the 3-2 pitch is swung on a ground ball over the mound towards shortstop. Rushing it, it's Boswell. He feels and he throws, and it's in time. Good strong throw from Boswell. Gets some buzz behind that. And Wilson is gone 6-3. I tell you what, Wilson sprinting up that line. Very close play, but really good play by Boswell. Though the throw sailed on him a little bit, it was high, but Hunter Goodman, a good job to stay with it and get the out. Well, Matthew Kroon walked and scored in the second inning. Lefty hitters in and takes the pitch a little bit high for ball one. Infield shifts with the lefty at the plate. Third base and Boswell, Burnable, I should say, well off the line. Boswell is playing a deep shortstop, very close to that second base back. He also wrapped around to the right side. Diaz playing in the hole at second base, and Goodman playing deep down that first baseline. He's playing like a no double situation with the Kroon at the plate. 2 balls and a strike as Williams fires. That is low, and it's now 3-1. Leadoff home run by Johan Rojas in this third inning. Upper deck right field, right center field has made it a 6-4 game. The pitch swing and a miss. And the count evens 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wilson, I beg your pardon, with the home run.
I just got back from Trumbull Street and got the baseball. What a shot.
Yeah, that was crushed. Pitch to Dunn is low ball 4, so Dunn walks now, and a 1-out base runner for the Fightins, and that's going to be walk number 3, Dan, for Case Williams.
Well, you know, Case just doesn't have it tonight. That home run pitch that Wilson sent out of this ballpark, completely out of the ballpark, was a fastball out over the plate. Wilson has been a red-hot hitter, but you know, he was not about to let that pitch go by, and I think Case is just trying to find himself right now.
6-4 to the game. And now Kroon stands in and takes the pitch in for strike 1. I should say Drew Ellis takes the breaking pitch for a strike. Goodman at first base, holding Dunn. Pitch that misses, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike, and now getting some sprinkles beginning to fall here at Duncan Park.
They said we might get a shower. They were right.
Williams ready. The 1-1 pitch is swung on a high drive, blasted deep towards left. Simpson back to the track at the fence, and it's gone. Drew Ellis. It's a 2-run home run here in the 3rd inning. And it's now 8-4 Fightin' Phils.
Well, the Phillies, I'll tell you what, when they look at the score here in Reading, they're going to be pretty happy with what their AA affiliate is doing. That pitch was out over the plate, and Drew Ellis put it in the Reading Fightin' Phils bullpen. There's a big cheering section. It's all the Reading relievers.
Right. Good poke by Ellis. What a start for this game. And the pitch to Cody Roberts, the catcher. And he looks at strike 1.
It's not often you see a team spot another club 4 runs in the 1st inning and then double that within an inning and change.
You don't see that too often. Pitch is swung on. That's hit towards center. Restituyo has some room this time. Backs up and flooding some raindrops. Makes the catch. And puts away Roberts for out number 2.
Now Restituyo, as you said, had to fight the raindrops. That's not an easy catch for any outfielder when that rain is falling on you, as the fans now take shelter here at Duncan Park.
Hopefully just a passing shower. As Garrett Whitley is in from the right side. And the pitch to him is swung on and pop up in a short right field. Cal Datras has it measured, though, comes in and makes the catch cap high, and Whitley is gone to end the inning. But well, the Fightins had 3 more runs. They get 2 home runs in the process. Nobody left, and after 2.5 innings, it is 8-4 Reading in the Connecticut Radio Network.
Now if we go to the last of the 3rd inning and just looking at some radar, Jeff, and there's some showers to the west just moving in, but I don't think it's enough to bring a halt to this ball game, as the heroes among us are being introduced tonight. Robert Lee, for the service he has given to his country. And now we go to the bottom of the 3rd as the fans, Jeff, wisely seek shelter in the rain.
We should be in the 6th inning, I think.
Yeah,
right?
we should be. You're right.
These first 3 innings of crawl with 12 runs being a score between the 2 teams. Warming Bernabeu leads things off. 8-4 Reading leads Hartford. Joining us late, a crazy start. Goats got 4 runs in the 1st inning, but Reading has scored the last 8, and they lead it by 4. Bernabeu grounds it to 3rd base back in the 1st inning. Lefty deals. The pitch is fouled back to the screen behind the plates. And it's no balls, 2 strikes.
By the way, this is the way it has been ever since we had that hot spell for a couple of days. The last 3 weeks, the weather has just been awful.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Warming Bernabeu strikes out swinging. And they covered the field last night and then uncovered it today. It was actually a beautiful day today in Hartford. And then it was, I don't know, what, an hour or so before game time, you and I looked up, we saw some clouds come in the area.
I mean, you're not kidding. We were on the field during batting practice. The sun was shining.
Beautiful.
It actually felt like springtime.
Yep.
But then around 6, the clouds moved in, and now they are unloading with some rain.
And shortstop Brett Boswell, who's in, lefty on lefty, swings away and hits a foul back to the screen behind the plate for strike one.
The good news is the weather is supposed to improve dramatically for the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Parkinson sets the 0-1 pitch. Fastball a little bit up, and the count 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and hit foul. That'll connect with the screen. Splashing some water off that protective netting behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You know, Jeff, we were talking last night about Bryce Harper returning to the Philadelphia Phillies just 160 days after undergoing Tommy John surgery. And last night,
pitch is swung on, line towards center, but Rojas looks to his left, makes the over-the-shoulder style grab very nonchalantly as Boswell is out, number 2.
Well, Bryce Harper got in the lineup. He did go 0 for 4, and he struck out 3 times. So we'll see, but it's not going to be easy. He did not want to go through a minor league rehab.
I was just going to say that. He didn't want to do a rehab assignment.
No. You might have seen him here.
Mm-hmm. Second baseman Eddie Diaz takes the pitch high above the letters. He could have joined his teammate Nick Nelson, who pitched last night.
That's
Who's
right.
going to pitch again on Sunday. They could have shared a cab or an Uber.
Or a limousine.
Mm-hmm. That too. The next one nearly hit him. Diaz dives out of the way and hits the deck chest first, actually, then pushes himself up like a push-up.
I'll bet he does push-ups.
I think he does.
A lot of push-ups. Oh, we got a violation. And it was on Diaz, so a strike has been called.
2 balls and a strike to Diaz. And the pitch home. That's outside, and the count goes to 3-1.
That push-up cost him.
Right? Did he not get up in the batter's box quick enough?
I don't know.
Here's the 3-1 pitch. It swung on a ground ball, hit to shortstop. Friendly hot for Stokes. Masson has it. Across the diamond with a throw. In the first 1-2-3 inning for David Parkinson tonight. Goats go in order in the 3rd. After 3, we head to the 4th. It's 8-4 Fightins on the Connecticut Air Radio Network. Three inning totals for Reading: 8 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Fightin' Phils have left 1 on base. For Hartford, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. And the Yard Goats have left 4. Off to the 4th we go. And here to tell you about is my broadcast partner, Dan Lavallo. Dan?
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. Hello once again, everybody. The rain has picked up in intensity, but the show goes on as the rain falls. Here's Madison Stokes, 1 for 2 tonight. Mitch Kilkenny comes on, and the first pitch bounces away off the mitt of Drew Romo. Ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Stokes looked at a third strike in the first, knocked in a run with a single to left field in the second. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at a low fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. So Case Williams goes 3 innings tonight, allows 8 hits, 8 runs earned, walked 3, struck out 3. 1-1 pitch, misses. 2 balls, 1 strike the count.
It'll be another long effort for the bullpen tonight, who went 6 innings last night.
The 2-1 offering is high, ball 3, 3-1 the count. Kilkenny making his 5th appearance of the year. What a job he's done, Jeff. 2 wins, no losses, a 0.93 ERA. Here's a bouncer foul off the third base side, fielded in foul territory by Bernabel. And the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fresh supply of baseball for the home plate umpire, Willie Traynor.
Yeah, Dan, he's really done a nice job. And last year he was in the rotation, and yeah, he's really excited about what he's done in the bullpen this year. How can he not be? He's got the numbers.
Exactly. And he has adjusted to being a reliever after having that mindset all these years of being a starting pitcher. Payoff pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. Cutter that time, and Stokes goes down swinging. Nice pitch that time from Kilkenny. Here's the first baseman, Carlos De La Cruz. He has grounded out to third and doubled to right. 8-4 Reading. Mitch Kilkenny on in relief. The pitch to the right-handed hitting De La Cruz is low, ball 1. The rain had lessened in intensity for about a second, and now it's picked up again. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike the count on De La Cruz. Kilkenny rocks and deals, and the pitch is nubbed foul behind the third base coach and manager of the Fightin Phils, Al Pedrique, who used to be in the Yankee system at one point. He's been around several systems, actually. 1-2. Fastball is fisted foul off the netting first base side. And the ball is going to be retrieved by the first base coach of the Reading Fightin Phils, Ray Ricker. The 1-2. Changeup is ripped down the left field line, and it is going to hit off the base of the wall. De La Cruz will stop at first. That's a heavy track out there because of the rain. So rather than take a chance, plus Simpson got the ball back quickly on a pitch hung out over the plate by Kilkenny. De La Cruz wisely, Jeff, stops at first
Yeah,
base.
the longest single in the world, Dan, right? Wall ball single as it was played so nicely by Simpson. And you're right, with that slow track out there today, mud beginning to form. You don't want to get caught up in a rundown at this point.
Now the center fielder, Johan Rojas, right-handed batter, takes a pitch inside ball 1, a 91-mile-per-hour fastball from Kilkenny.
I think the rain is really lightening now.
Yes.
The passing shower, but it got thick. It really did.
Yeah, it did. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at a 91-mile-per-hour fastball, 1-1. See, I normally pack an umbrella with me, but I actually took it out of my bag as I left the car this afternoon because the sun was shining,
right,
and there weren't any clouds around.
So you're the reason
it
we're raining.
Serves me right. 1-1 pitch is low, 2-1. You know, you think you've learned your lesson, but I guess I haven't learned mine.
And you've been to a lot of ball games over the years.
Yeah. 2-1 pitch is inside ball 3, 3-1. And you know that, you know, I'll come prepared. I've got the heavy jacket. I've got another jacket.
You've got
that I
two
can put,
jackets.
I do, yes. But incredibly, I took the umbrella out of my bag as I closed the car door.
You've got a heater, and then there's nothing you don't have.
No, the 3-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded sharply, and into left field for a base hit. De La Cruz stops at second. Aboard at first is Rojas. And so the Fightins now have a total of 10 hits in the ball game.
Yeah, we're only in the 4th inning. That one stroked really well. A solid knock to left, and Reading looking to add on, already up 4 here in the 4th inning. They would say this is where the game is won and lost in these middle innings. So they'll fight and see if they can tack on more runs against the bullpen now with runners at first and second base.
Maybe the hottest hitter in all of baseball, Ethan Wilson at the plate. He just hit one out of Duncan Park his last time up in the 3rd inning. The pitch is lined down the left field line and foul into the seats, rattling around by the Duncan dugout down and left.
Homer last night, a homer tonight?
Yeah, his home run in the 11th inning last night, snapping a 4-4 tie, and it lifted Reading to a 6-4 victory. But he has been on fire. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a foul back, 0-2. He also had a single, so he's got a homer, a single, a run batted in, and 2 runs scored. And came into this game since coming off of the injured list with a .333 batting average, 3 homers and 10 runs batted in, and he's added to that tonight. Here's the set and the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back. That was a 92-mile-per-hour fastball from Kilkenny. I'll tell you what, Jeff, these Reading hitters make the Yard Goats pitchers work.
They do. Spoil pitch after pitch.
Kilkenny trying to wiggle off the hook here. 1 out. Runners at first and second. The look to second base in the pitch. Change goes all the way to the backstop, and the runners will move up a base. Advancing to third, De La Cruz. Rojas to second as Kilkenny gets a new baseball. We're going to watch it again. And that was a wild pitch. Awfully tough for a catcher to handle that. And the Yard Goats are forced to bring the infield in, trailing by 4 runs. Wilson licking his chops as he digs in. Crowds the plate as a left-handed batter. Stands deep in the box. Kilkenny's 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ripped foul off the facing of that dugout on the first base side. When you're locked in, you are locked in. And I don't think there's any question. Ethan Wilson is locked in right now. The pitch fouled back. Eight runs, 10 hits for Reading, 4 runs, 5 hits for the Yard Goats. Runners lead off second and third. Here's the set by Kilkenny. And the pitch. Number off the third base side. Here's the throw to first in time. And the runners hold their ground as Boswell, the shortstop, playing in, manages to field the baseball and throw the red-hot hitting Wilson out. Nice play by the Boz. Looked the runner back to third and then threw to first to nail Wilson, keeping De La Cruz at third and Rojas at second.
And trying to keep this a 4-run game. There's still a lot of time to go.
Yes, Matthew Kroon has walked and grounded out to short. Here's the set on the pitch. Inside, ball 1, 1-0. A 92-mile-per-hour fastball from Kilkenny, who has thrown over 20 pitches in this inning. Pitch number 25 about to be delivered. Here it comes. Fastball is popped up on the infield. Diaz, the second baseman, angles into shallow right and drops the ball. 2 runs are going to score. De La Cruz and Rojas come in as Diaz, angling into shallow right field, watch the baseball kick off the heel of his glove, enabling 2 runs to score and giving the Fightin' Phils a 10-4 lead. That was a good pitch at which Kroon offered, and Diaz had it, but then dropped it.
Yep.
Trying to make that one-handed catch, Jeff.
Not a topspin on that.
Yep, he paid the price. And now Oliver Dunn will bat with Kroon aboard at first.
That's tough with 2 outs because everyone moving.
Here's a pitch outside, ball 1. Yeah, I mean, both those runners were off and running the minute contact was made. Now the set And the 1-0 pitch to Dunn. There goes the runner down to second. The throw, he is safe. Head first dive by Kroon, and he's in scoring position. So the Fightins right now are having a field day. Remember, they were down 4-0 after 1 tonight, and now they lead it 10-4. And Kroon is at second base. By the way, that was an error charged to Diaz. There's a pitch, ball 3, 3-0 the count. The wheels have come off the cart for the Yard Goats tonight.
And it's a shame because Hartford scored 4 runs in their first ups in the first inning.
The 3-0 pitch. On the outside corner, a called strike, 3-1.
Yard Goats went to Reading a couple of weeks ago, last month, and won 4 of 6 games. And Reading now trying to return the favor in their own ballpark.
Here's the 30th pitch of the inning thrown by Kilkenny, and it's a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, 3-2. Kroon at second. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes to count on the left-handed hitting Oliver Dunn. The set by Kilkenny, the look to second base, and the pitch. Swung on and tapped foul behind the first base coach, Ray Ricker. And it ricochets out into right field where Kyle Datris will receive it, and the kids anxiously waiting for a souvenir. And somebody's going to get it. The battle is on. The scramble is on here at Duncan Park, and look at those kids, how happy they are.
Oh, yeah. Nothing like going to a ball game and getting a baseball.
Yes. Meanwhile, Kilkenny trying to end the misery here in the top of the 4th. The pause, the pitch. Inside. Ball 4, I believe. Oh, no, now they say it might have been a foul ball. Did it kick the bat handle? It might have nicked the bat handle. So the count remains at 3-2. Now the payoff pitch. There's a pitch outside, ball 4. So the inning
Kilkenny
continues.
over 30, Dan, now.
Yeah, I mean, he's thrown, I think, 34 pitches this inning.
And he's only faced, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, just 6 hitters.
Yeah.
It's a lot, and you said it. You're absolutely right. I mean, the pesky team, and they foul off pitches, and they work deep in accounts.
You look at their record, and I mean, you don't know what's happened in the early going, injuries, roster changes and stuff, but they're playing better than a 7-14 ball club.
Yep.
Here's Drew Ellis, already a single and a homer tonight. And he rips this one to left field, and on his horse, reaching up to make the catch, is Simpson, mercifully ending the top of the 4th inning. But the Fightins add to their lead, scoring 2 runs, and they do it on 2 hits. There was an expensive error, and 2 left. We go to the last of the 4th. Reading 10, Hartford 4. You're listening to Yard Goats Baseball on the Connecticut Radio Network.
At Connecticut, when we say we mean health, we mean we're here to cover the moments that change your life. The appointments that let you know her first steps are right on time. And all the things that get and keep you healthy, like yoga and nutrition classes. Because at Connecticut, it's not only your coverage that means everything to us. It's your health. We mean health.
I like to scratch stuff, obviously. But unlike carpets and the occasional sofa, Connecticut Lottery scratch tickets have amazing prizes, fun games, and incredible odds. They're my favorite thing to dig these claws into. The possibilities are endless for what you can do with your winnings. Vacations, dinners, clothes, cat toys. I'd buy a scratching post and then just scratch the sofa instead. Possible is a scratch away with scratch tickets from the Connecticut Lottery.
I really enjoy that I get to help people on a daily basis. My name is Erica Sims, and I'm a unit manager at the CAT team. We basically handle claims that result out of a catastrophic event. It's been really exciting since I started because I've been able to travel all throughout the country. You're not going to find a better group of people in terms of their dedication to be able to service a customer. There's lots of things that we do really well here at Travelers, but I think it's the people that makes us special. The best thing about what I do is being able to help people.
May the 4th be with you. And tomorrow night, the Yard Goats will celebrate the occasion, Star Wars night, here at Duncan Park. A lot of activity taking place on Star Wars night. And then on Friday night, it will be the Yard Goats and the Fightins again on Cinco de Mayo night, part of Cinco de Mayo Day, and the Yard Goats will have their own Cinco de Mayo celebration. Both games tomorrow night and Friday night start at 7:10. For tickets, go to yardgoatsbaseball.com. Colin Simpson leads off the bottom of the 4th inning against David Parkinson. And Jeff Parkinson has settled down. He's retired 5 in a row.
Yeah, he has. 3 strikeouts over that stretch, and his team is up the advantage to 6 runs now. I mean, you know he wants to go 5 to try to get the win.
Of course. The rain is just about stopped, by the way, as the first pitch bites the outside corner. A called strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 delivery misses outside. That levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 swung on and looped into right field. It's going to drop in there for a base hit. Wilson cuts it off, and Simpson will stop at first with a leadoff single. That's a nice start to the bottom of the 4th. You know, you've got to like the way Colin Simpson plays baseball, Jeff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He's been on base now twice. He walked his last debut in the 2nd, but solid hit to right field as he picks up Hartford's 6th of the game against David Parkinson.
That'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Vladimir Restituyo. 1 for 2. Here's a ground ball sharply into left field, up base hit. Simpson stops at second, and Restituyo is aboard with his 2nd hit of the ball game. Going after that first pitch.
This is 3rd time through the order now for Hartford, so they've seen this lefty a little bit.
Kyle Datris has walked, single to left. You know, home run here, and it's a ball game.
Yeah.
In a hurry. The pitch, way inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes, the count.
Datchers from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Little League World Series. Family used to volunteer, and they actually still do.
Here's a pitch in there for a strike, 1-1. And when you say volunteer, I mean they have made a commitment. Host families.
They have hosted kids. Yeah, they've had teams at their house and
going out to the ballpark in Williamsport and staying there all day. Here's a breaking ball on the inside corner, a called strike, 1-2.
Kyle, I forgot which team it was, but they said they had a rooting interest last year because that team was staying with Kyle's family. I mean, it's just a cool thing.
It's a great story.
Yep.
And they've done it for years. And a major, major commitment, but they love it.
That's where he got his love for baseball, and watching the Little League World Series every year.
Here's the set. The look to second. The 1-2 pitch is a curveball. Hit back to the box. Parkinson goes to second for 1. On to first, double play. Well, the pitcher's best friend as Datris hits into a 1-4-3 double play, going after a curveball. And Parkinson starting the twin killing. Simpson advances to third, but there are 2 away. Now the first baseman, Hunter Goodman, slugged a 3-run homer in the first inning to, at the time, give the Yard Goats a 3-0 lead, part of Hartford's 4-run first. And there's a high drive, deep left field. You can kiss it goodbye. Hunter Goodman slugs a 2-run homer. And it is now Reading 10, the Yard Goats 6. His 2nd home run of the night.
Boy, how big is that double play now, Dan Lovallo?
Oh, boy, huge. Well, Goodman getting out in front of a pitch. He now has 7 home runs on the season, 5 RBI tonight. He has 22 runs batted in on the year. Parkinson with a fastball out over the plate, and it left the ballpark at 109 miles per hour. And that's going to be it for Parkinson. Al Pedrique, the manager, is on the mound. He's going to his bullpen. Pitching change here at Duncan Park. And with a score, Reading 10, the Yard Goats 6. We'll be back to tell you all about it in just a moment. You're listening to Yard Goats Baseball on the Connecticut Radio Network. Pitching change brought to you by Trantolo and Trantolo. New pitcher in the ball game is right-hander Christian Hernandez. So Christian Hernandez comes on here with the Yard Goats now trailing by 4, 10-6. One of the stories in this game, Hunter Goodman, who, and we're only in the 4th inning, has 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. So David Parkinson unable to seal the deal tonight. So here's Hernandez, a right-hander, working to Grant Levine. The pitch, fastball that's hit high in the air down the left field line. Whitley angling toward the corner. Whitley in the corner reaches up to make the catch, and that'll end the bottom of the 4th inning. But not before the Yard Goats inch closer, scoring 2 runs on 2 hits. The big blow, a Hunter Goodman home run. We go to the 5th with the score. Reading 10, Hartford 6. You're listening to Yard Goats Baseball on the Connecticut Radio Network. New pitcher in the ball game for the Hartford Yard Goats is Jared Biddy. Pitching change brought to you by Trantolo and Trantolo. So the Yard Goats bullpen is going to be put to the test tonight. Mitch Kilkenny lasting just 1 inning. And Mitch ended up allowing 2 hits, 2 runs. Both of the runs were unearned. He walked a batter and struck out a batter, and now Jared Biddy will work first to Cody Roberts here in the 5th in what has been a wild game, Jeff Dooley.
It really has. Looking at some records, the most RBIs in a single game for Hartford 6. It was done 4 different times last by our old buddy, MacGyver. Willie MacGyver, the catcher, did it last year.
Here's a fastball, flagged down by Biddy. As he catches it on the mound and underhands it to first, Roberts is retired to open the top of the 5th.
So Biddy is gone, and I should say Roberts is gone, and Biddy gets out number 1.
And here's Garrett Whitley. Whitley has hit a sac fly and skied to right.
But how about Hunter Goodman, Dan? He's already got 5 RBIs in the through 4 innings.
4 innings, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. And now Jared Biddy being asked to keep the Fightins at bay. There's a fastball in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike the count. Biddy is making his 5th appearance of the year for the Yard Goats. Trying to regain his equilibrium. The pitch, changeup, misses. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Madison Stokes is on deck. Whitley has been a tough out so far in this series. Swing and a miss. He goes downstairs at a breaking ball. 1-2 the count. He might be hitting 9th in the order, but he had a big home run last night and a sac fly tonight. And he's played a very good left field in the first 2 games of this series. Garrett Whitley. Jared Biddy shakes off one side, shakes off another. Now the right-hander with a 1-2. Misses away. 2-2 the count. Biddy signed as a minor league free agent back in 2021. Stands at 6'2", weighs 180 pounds, from Iowa Park, Texas. The pitch swung on and ripped off the glove of Diaz into center field. Diaz was shifting behind second base, almost as close as he could get to second as the rules allow, and he tried to make the backhand pickup on a fastball out over the plate, and it kicked off the heel of his glove into center field. We will wait for a ruling. But Whitley is on base again, and the Fightins are getting a lot of production out of that 9-hole so far in the series. Now Madison Stokes. He has struck out twice and knocked in a run with a single. 10-6 Reading. Whitley is a threat to steal. The throw to first, and diving back is Whitley. That ball will be ruled a single, by the way. So the Fightins now have 11 hits in the ball game. The pitch, swing and a foul back. 0-1. That Hartford infield really shifts on the right-handed hitters. The runner is at first base, which means with the second baseman Diaz as close to second base as is allowed, that hitter has almost the entire right side of the infield at which to hit. The pitch, low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike the count on Stokes, who did not play in last night's ball game. Got the nod tonight, starting at shortstop. Here's the set and the pitch. Low for a ball. 2-1 the count. Madison Stokes is a infielder, outfielder. He can play several positions for you. This pitch is low, ball 3, 3-1 the count. Stokes is from Columbia, South Carolina. 27 years of age. He was drafted in the 10th round of the 2018 draft, some 5 years ago. We'll keep an eye on Whitley. Is he running? No. The 3-1 pitch is drilled to right field. Datris ranging back, turns and has to play it off the wall. Here's Whitley around second, digging for third. He'll stop there. In at second base with a double is Stokes. And here come the Fightins once again. Runners at second and third with 1 out. Nice piece of hitting as Stokes goes to the opposite field. No way Datris was going to make the catch. Then he had to play the tricky hop off the wall as Whitley coasted into third base. And Stokes aboard at second with his second hit of the game. He's already batted 4 times and has 2 hits. And now also up for the 4th time in this game. And remember, we're only in the 5th inning. is Carlos De La Cruz. De La Cruz has grounded out to third, doubled, and singled, and the infield is in. The set and the pitch. Curveball is ripped inside the third base bag into left field. Whitley will score. Around third, coming down the line is Stokes. He will score. De La Cruz is aboard at first. 2 more runs are in, and the Fightin' Phils lead it 12-6. That was an inside fastball ripped past the third baseman Bernabel. So De La Cruz picks up his third hit of the game, and the Fightins come right back and answer the 2 runs the Yard Goats scored in the bottom of the 4th inning. And now the center fielder, Johan Rojas. The set and the pitch. Inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to count. This has been some ball game. Fightins already have 13 hits, and we're only in the 5th inning. The delivery, swing and a miss. 85 mile per hour, breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike the count on Rojas. De La Cruz leads off first. Pitty pauses, delivers, and there's a bouncing ball in the hole to right field, up base hit. De La Cruz stops at second. Rojas is aboard with his second hit of the game, and the onslaught continues as the Fightins have runners at first and second for the dangerous Ethan Wilson, as Rojas goes the other way. Tell you, if they're going to shift on the right-handed batters, then they're going to take advantage of the right side of that infield. But now Wilson, who hits left-handed, digs in. The infield looking to turn 2, and the pitch. This is outside, ball 1, 1-0. Wilson tonight has singled to right, hit a homer out of Duncan Park, above the Travelers sign in right center onto Trumbull Street. Not many players have done that. It's not a rarity, but it's not done that often either here at Duncan Park. Brett Beatty did it. Rafael Devers did it. There's a bouncing ball to first, fielded by Goodman. He goes to second for 1. On to first, not in time. But the Yard Goats do turn the 3-6 fielder's choice. Rojas is erased. Nice throw by Goodman down to the shortstop, Brett Boswell. Wilson reaches. So there are runners at the corners with 2 outs, and the third baseman Matthew Kroon. Kroon has walked, grounded out to short, and reached on an error. The pitch in there for a strike. 91 mile per hour fastball. No balls, 1 strike the count. You might see a difference in the speed, but we are picking up our velocity reading from TrackMan, which is here at the ballpark. Pitch is fouled off to the right, out of play. And that pitch came in at 91. But they're pretty close what you might see and what we are seeing on TrackMan, which really breaks down every pitch. The angle, the vertical break, the exit speed, the spin rate. You got it all. There goes the runner from first, and the pitch is fouled back. So with De La Cruz at third, Wilson took off for second, but the count is no balls and 2 strikes on Matthew Kroon. Now the set and the 0-2. Fastball that's fouled back. Count remains at 0-2. 12 runs, 14 hits for the Fightin' Phils. 6 runs, 8 hits for the Yard Goats. Game 2 of a 6-game series. We are back at it tomorrow night on Star Wars night. 7:10 start. For tickets, go to yardgoatsbaseball.com. Now the pause and the throw to first. Wilson dives back. Safe call given by the first base umpire, Matt Blackborough. De La Cruz leads off third. It has started to rain again here at Duncan Park. This is not an official ball game. There goes the runner from first on 3-2, and it's popped up down the right field line. Levine giving chase, and the Yard Goats first baseman makes a nice catch. I should say Goodman. The Yard Goats first baseman makes a fine running catch in foul territory, bringing an end to the top of the 5th inning. Nice play by the Yard Goats first baseman Hunter Goodman. We go to the last of the 5th with the score. Reading 12, Hartford 6. You're listening to Yard Goats Baseball on the Kinetic Air Radio Network.
Every day needs a good start with friends you know.
I'm Ted Koppel.
And I'm Heidi Voigt, sharing local and national stories affecting your family.
With a lot changing,
every day needs a fresh perspective.
And weather updates you can depend on.
NBC Connecticut has the most accurate forecast.
Every day needs to shine.
I feel like the Teletubbies. Remember the beginning of Teletubbies?
With feel-good stories to brighten your day.
Imagine how you'd feel if you found out that your friend was actually your sibling.
NBC Connecticut Today, followed by The Today Show.
It's the last half of the 5th inning here at Duncan Park. Dan Lavallo along with Jeff Dooley. A look in from our center field camera for those watching on MILB.TV. And the rain has picked up a bit here at Duncan Park. This is not an official ball game. Christian Hernandez, who has a chance to be the winning pitcher if he can keep the Yard Goats from taking the lead, is out there. Came on in relief in the 4th inning. Here's the first pitch to Drew Romo. And Romo looks at a strike. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Drew has reached on a fielder's choice and flied to right. Here's the pitch from Hernandez. Misses. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. The Yard Goats must be retired here in this 5th inning before it becomes an official ball game. 1-1, swing and a miss at a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Hernandez, by the way, is making his 4th appearance with the Fightins. He entered with a record of no wins, no losses, an ERA of 9. Powerfully built. 1-2. Swung on and popped up foul off the third base side out of play. He generates a lot of velocity with his powerful legs. Hernandez, 6'3", 180 pounds, from Cumana, Venezuela. 22-year-old, signed as a free agent by the Philadelphia Phillies. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted foul again out of Duncan Park off the third base side. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes on Drew Romo, one of the top prospects in the Colorado Rockies organization. The Rockies very high on what Romo can bring to the table as a catcher. There's a fastball outside, 2-2. Of course, the catcher they have right now in Colorado, Edgar Diaz, is lighting it up. He's off to a great start. Had a big home run last night as the Rockies trimmed the Brewers 3-2. And Ezekiel Tovar hit his first big league homer last night against Milwaukee. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. Romo unable to hold up on his swing, so he is a strikeout victim on a high fastball from Hernandez. And there is 1 away. Now the third baseman warming Bernabel, who has grounded out to third and struck out swinging. Tovar was the talk of Denver after the ball game last night. Slider misses, ball one, 1-0. He not only hit his first big league homer, but he made a spectacular catch in the ninth inning on a ball hit hard by Rowdy Tellez, the former Blue Jay, now playing for the Brewers. Hernandez holds the set at the waist. 1-0 breaking pitch is low and away. 2-0 the count. We saw Tovar here last year, then he got hurt and missed a good portion of the season. The next thing you know, he was at AAA for a cup of coffee and ended up in the big leagues, and now he's the starting shortstop for the Colorado Rockies. Here's a fastball in there for a strike, 2-1. But right now, Tovar and Diaz are big components on that Rockies roster. The 2-1. High for a ball, 3-1 the count. I'm sure some of you saw the news. Former Hartford Yard Goat Armand Marquez is going to be sidelined now for over a year. These pitchers, like a Christian Hernandez, they worry. But Armand Marquez will require Tommy John surgery. Here's a pop-up on the infield. De La Cruz, the first baseman, is under it and makes the two-handed catch. So Bernabal is out number 2. And that one, I'd like to say, was it high enough to bring down rain, but it is already raining here at Duncan Park, although the rain has let up some. Boswell tonight has knocked in a run with a double and flied to center. 12-6 Reading. Hartford is batting in the last of the 5th inning with 2 outs and nobody on base. Christian Hernandez, the pitcher of record on the long end of the count, delivers. And here's a breaking ball on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1. The left-handed hitting Brett Boswell, trying to find his stroke, he says. He's getting there. Now the 0-1, low for a ball. 1-1. But getting back to Marquez, it's really a shame that he came down with that injury, and it requires Tommy John surgery. They don't know when the surgery is going to be performed, but he'll be out for the rest of this year and maybe all of next year. Here's a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike, 1-2. And of course, the speculation is, has he pitched his last game for the Colorado Rockies as Hernandez goes to the rosin bag? Remember, that ball is wet. It's wet out there. I believe we're going to get a clock violation. As Hernandez went to the rosin bag, and a ball has been called. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. So they caught Hernandez on a clock violation going to the rosin bag. The 2-2 pitch. Did he check his swing? Yes, he did. 3-2 the count now on Boswell. We'll keep an eye on Hernandez here. Clock is winding down to 10. Now the set and the payoff pitch. Swung on and popped up foul off the third base side, out of play. But getting back to Marquez for just a moment, he's a free agent after next year. And there is speculation that after the Tommy John surgery, the length of recovery will keep him out all of next season as well. And you wonder if he's going to return as a Rocky. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss at a 93-mile-per-hour fastball, strike 3. So Hernandez with a 1-2-3 inning, one of the few 1-2-3 innings tonight. We head to the 6th. This is an official ball game. It's now Reading 12, Hartford 6. You're listening to Yard Goats Baseball on the Connecticut Radio Network.
Lauren Abbey versus Tim and Andrew. They're going to
celebrating after a big win. From our famous bar bites to our craft beers and cocktails, there's something for everyone. Wooden Tap.
Here we go to the top of the 6th inning. Oliver Dunn will lead it off for the Reading Fightin Phils, with the Fightins leading 12-6. Jared Biddy into his 2nd inning of work delivers, and the pitch is outside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count. We have a new third baseman in the ball game for the Yard Goats, Christopher Navarro, who just joined the club today. Here's a pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Christopher played some for Hartford last year. Now he's back in a Goats uniform. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Dunn has walked 3 times tonight and has scored 2 runs. So he's had a productive night and officially does not have an at-bat. There's a high foul, third base side, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. I'm guessing he'll bat in the 6 hole, occupied by Bernabal. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul tip into Romo's mitt, strike 3. So Dunn strikes out, and there's 1 away.
Designated hitter number 41, Drew Ellis.
Here's the DH, Drew Ellis. Ellis has had a very productive night. A 2-run single, a 2-run homer. He's also flied to left. 2 for 3, a homer, 4 runs batted in. And the pitch inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes the count. The announcement just made that Navarro is the new third baseman for the Yard Goats, replacing Bernabal. Here's a pitch low for a ball. 2-0 the count on Ellis. Jared Biddy trying to give the Yard Goats some innings here in this 12-6 game. Changeup is low. 3-0 the count. On that out-of-town scoreboard, presented by Budweiser, they go to the last of the 8th and Bowie, and Erie leads the Bay Sox 12-6. Fastball on the inside corner, called strike 3-1. Ellis taking all the way. It's Akron 6, Portland nothing. They're in the last of the 7th at Canal Park. Portland in first place in the Northern Division. They're off to a 16-5 start. They will be here on the next homestand. Pitch is fouled off the netting behind home plate. The only time, by the way, the Red Sox Double-A club comes to Duncan Park this year, week after next. And right now they are in first with a 16-5 record. They're in extras at the Diamond in Richmond. Top of the 10th, Altoona with a run in, leading Richmond 5-4. Ground ball fielded by Navarro. He scoops it up and makes a rainbow toss across to first to get Ellis. And there are 2 away. That ball was destined for the hole, and Navarro right away put to work. Picked it, made that rainbow toss, and Goodman with a scoop down there at first base after stretching to field the throw. So welcome back to Hartford, Christopher Navarro. Now the catcher, Cody Roberts, knocked in a run with a double, fly to center, and hit back to the box. Harrisburg beat New Hampshire today 4-0. Here is a looper into shallow right center field. It eludes Diaz and drops in front of Datras for a base hit. So a 2-out single for Cody Roberts, his 2nd hit of the ball game. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Garrett Whitley, who has a sacrifice fly, a fly out to right, and an infield hit. Just taking a look at my scorecard here. And Reading with that 12-6 lead as the rain picks up again. Every Reading player has scored at least 1 run tonight. How about that? The pitch swung on and popped up off the first base side. Goodman giving chase in foul territory. Goodman unable to make the catch as he leans against the netting. But a nice effort by the Yard Goats first baseman. Let's see what other nuggets we can come up with. Every Reading batter in the order has reached base at least once tonight. And all but 2 Reading players have at least 1 hit as the rain has really picked up. It is coming down pretty good now. Remember, this is an official ball game. This is the hardest it's rained tonight, right now. Reading leads at 12-6. Here's the set. And the 0-1 pitch. High for a ball. 1-1 the count. Binghamton beats Somerset 5-1. And that's what's going on in the Eastern League. Well, it's real. They're going to have to stop this game. Yep, that's just what they're going to do. Let the record show that at 9:09, the umpires say stop and clear the field. Let's get this field covered before it's too late. It is really coming down. This is the hardest it has rained tonight, and the grounds crew working feverishly, first to cover the pitcher's mound and home plate, and then to cover the rest of the infield with a tarp. But that rain is coming down, and you wonder how much water this field can hold anyway. We've had so much rain just over the last week. Forget about the last 3 weeks, just the last week here at Duncan Park. And so that rain is really coming down here at Duncan Park, coming down at a pretty good clip as the ground crew quickly gets to work to cover the field. But that's a heavy tarp. Remember that. That is a heavy, heavy tarp because of all the rain it has absorbed. And they are working feverishly. Boy, you got to give them a lot of credit. There they all are, working hard, pushing that tarp out as fast as they can, but it's